Every year, millions of Americans live, work, retire, or study outside the United States. Whether they're chasing better job opportunities, lower living costs, or a higher quality of life, the number of U.S. citizens living abroad continues to grow. In 2025, the trend hasn't slowed down, and certain countries remain top choices for American expats. In this video, we're counting down the 10 countries with the most Americans living abroad in 2025, using data from the U.S. State Department, international census data, and expat surveys. Let's dive in and explore the top destinations where Americans are building new lives overseas.
10. Costa Rica.
Estimated Americans living here, 120,000. Costa Rica continues to attract Americans, especially retirees and digital nomads, thanks to its stable democracy, affordable healthcare, and laid-back lifestyle. The country's Pura Vida culture is more than a slogan, it's a way of life. The towns of Escazú, Santa Ana, and the beachside Nicoya Peninsula are hotspots for Americans, offering a blend of nature and modern amenities. The cost of living is lower than in most U.S. cities, and many Americans appreciate the country's strong environmental focus.
9. South Korea.
Estimated Americans living here, 135,000. South Korea's high-tech cities, booming economy, and cultural richness make it a surprising but increasingly popular destination for Americans. A significant number of U.S. military personnel are stationed here, especially near Seoul and Pyeongtaek, but thousands of teachers, students, and business professionals also call Korea home. The K-culture wave, top-tier healthcare, and efficient public transportation are major draws. And for younger Americans, teaching English in Korea remains a gateway into life abroad.
8. Philippines.
Estimated Americans living here, 150,000. With historical ties dating back over a century, the Philippines is home to a large community of Americans, both expats and dual citizens. Many are retired military personnel or second-generation Filipino Americans who have moved back for family or lifestyle reasons. English is widely spoken, the culture is warm and family-oriented, and the cost of living is relatively low. Cities like Manila, Cebu, and Davao have vibrant expat communities, while many retirees head to smaller islands for peace and tranquility.
7. France.
Estimated Americans living here, 160,000. France's allure isn't just for tourists. Many Americans choose to live there permanently. Whether it's the artistic appeal of Paris, the sun-drenched villages of Provence, or the wine-rich region of Bordeaux, France has something for everyone. Americans living in France often highlight the slower pace of life, universal healthcare, and emphasis on culture and leisure. The French lifestyle may take some adjustment, but for many, it's a welcome change. 6. United Kingdom. Estimated Americans living here, 180,000. Despite Brexit and changing immigration policies, the UK remains one of the most popular destinations for Americans abroad. Shared language, cultural similarities, and business ties make the transition relatively smooth for many. Americans are scattered across England, Scotland, and Wales, but London, Manchester, and Edinburgh host large concentrations. While the cost of living can be high, many Americans are drawn to the country's historic charm, public transport, and access to Europe.
5. Canada.
Estimated Americans living here, 220,000. Our neighbor to the north is not just close in geography, but also in values. Canada continues to be a top destination for Americans seeking a high quality of life, universal healthcare, and a more relaxed political climate. Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal are expat favorites, but smaller towns in British Columbia and Nova Scotia are gaining popularity too. Thanks to NAFTA-era ties and a relatively simple immigration process for professionals, many Americans find Canada an easy transition.
4. Germany.
Estimated Americans living here, 260,000. Germany is home to one of the largest American populations in Europe. U.S. military bases play a big role, especially in places like Ramstein and Stuttgart, but the number of civilian expats continues to rise. With its strong economy, excellent infrastructure, and central location in Europe, Germany is appealing for both work and lifestyle. Cities like Berlin, Frankfurt, and Munich are filled with startups, cultural venues, and green spaces, making them ideal for American professionals and families.
3. Japan.
Estimated Americans living here, 320,000. Japan has long been a unique blend of tradition and ultramodern living, and it continues to draw Americans in 2025. The U.S. military presence remains significant, but beyond that, there are thousands of English teachers, students, tech workers, and cultural enthusiasts who have made Japan their home. Tokyo, Osaka, and Yokohama are the largest hubs, offering a mix of excitement and structure. Despite the language barrier, many Americans embrace the safety, cleanliness, and cultural depth that Japan offers.
2. Mexico.
Estimated Americans living here, 1.6 million. Mexico is not only the most visited country by Americans but also one of the most lived in. From retirees enjoying beach life in Puerto Vallarta to remote workers setting up in Mexico City or Merida, the reasons to live here are as diverse as the regions themselves. Low cost of living, proximity to the US, favorable visa options, and rich culture make Mexico extremely attractive. In fact, some towns like San Miguel de Allende have neighborhoods that are almost entirely American, with local shops, healthcare, and services geared toward expats. 1. United States military bases abroad and global estimate. Estimated Americans living outside the US, total 9 million plus. US military personnel stationed abroad, 1.3 million, approximate. While we've listed specific countries, it's important to note that a large portion of Americans abroad are military personnel and their families. The US has bases in over 70 countries, including Italy, Germany, South Korea, and Japan. These bases often create entire communities of Americans overseas. Beyond that, there are Americans living in smaller numbers in nearly every country, from artists in Portugal to entrepreneurs in Thailand. The global American diaspora is diverse, growing, and increasingly mobile. As global citizens, more Americans are choosing to live internationally than ever before. Whether for love, work, adventure, or retirement, living abroad can be both challenging and deeply rewarding. Each country offers its own blend of culture, opportunity, and lifestyle. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos about global living, expat life, and international travel.